So, you finally did it. After years of saving, planning, and watching other people build businesses from nothing, you bought your own food truck. No giant restaurant, no expensive dining room, no 10-year lease, just one truck, one kitchen, one dream. It is 12:30 on a warm Friday afternoon, and the line outside your window stretches halfway down the block. Orders flash across the screen. 2 sandwiches, 3 bowls, 4 portions of fries, another combo, another drink. The grill hisses, the fryer bubbles. Your printer will not stop. For 3 straight hours, you barely look up. And when the lunch rush finally ends, the dashboard shows $2,240 in sales. For a moment, it feels like proof. You served 140 customers at an average ticket of $16. Repeat this 20 days a month, and you could generate almost $45,000 in monthly revenue, more than $500,000 a year, from one truck. Then the money begins disappearing. Roughly $690 went into ingredients, packaging, napkins, sauces, cups, and utensils. 2 employees worked 10 hours at $18 an hour. That is $360 in wages, before payroll taxes, workers' compensation, and overtime pushed the true cost higher. Card processing removes another $70. Fuel, generator gasoline, and propane take close to $100. Then come the costs your customers never see: commissary rent, overnight parking, insurance, permits, maintenance reserves, software, bookkeeping, your truck loan, and the taxes hiding inside the revenue number. Your $2,000 day may leave only a few $100s of operating profit. And even that is not necessarily cash you can spend. Some belongs to the tax authority. Some must remain untouched for the repair you do not know is coming. Some must cover Tuesday. When rain cuts your sales almost in half, this is the first lesson. You did not buy a kitchen with wheels. You bought a restaurant, a delivery vehicle, a utility system, a logistics operation, and a cash flow machine, compressed into less space than many restaurant bathrooms. And yet, the basic idea behind your business is almost primitive. In 1866, Texas rancher Charles Goodnight converted an army wagon into a mobile kitchen for cattle crews. The economics were simple. Hungry workers could not leave the trail, so the kitchen went to them. Lunch wagons later served factory workers. Pushcarts appeared around industrial neighborhoods. Taco trucks followed construction crews in working-class communities, where dependable demand existed, but traditional restaurants did not. The product changed. The economic idea did not. Do not wait for hungry customers to find a kitchen. Bring the kitchen to hungry customers. Then, after the financial crisis of 2008, chefs and entrepreneurs began using trucks as a lower-cost alternative to traditional restaurants. Social media transformed the model again. Trucks could announce their location, create urgency, and make customers actively follow a moving business. By 2018, the U.S. Census Bureau counted 5,970 employer food truck establishments, nearly twice the number recorded 5 years earlier. Commercial estimates place the broader U.S. food truck market at roughly $2.8 billion in 2025, although definitions vary and may include very small or non-employer operations. That growth makes the opportunity look irresistible. But standing inside your truck after the rush, surrounded by dirty pans and shrinking bank balances, you realize the real question is not whether customers will buy lunch. It is how much money you must risk before you can sell the first one. And tomorrow morning, the invoices arrive. The truck was supposed to be the inexpensive way into the restaurant business. That is what you told yourself. A reliable used vehicle costs $60,000. Not cheap, but still far below the cost of building a full restaurant. Then you discovered that buying the truck and building the business were 2 different expenses. The kitchen conversion added $25,000. A commercial grill, fryer, refrigeration, freezer space, sinks, water tanks, stainless steel preparation surfaces, and storage added another $20,000. Ventilation and a certified fire suppression system were not optional. Neither were the generator, propane installation, electrical upgrades, and plumbing required to pass inspection. The exterior wrap cost $5,000 because a plain white truck may cook the same food, but it does not attract the same attention. Permits, inspections, registration, legal work, food safety certifications, and professional fees consumed roughly $10,000. Your exact cost depended on the city, because mobile food rules can change dramatically across jurisdictions. Insurance required a $3,000 initial payment. Your point of sale system, printer, tablets, website, and basic technology cost $4,000. Opening inventory, utensils, pans, containers, knives, cleaning supplies, packaging, and smallwares added $5,000 more. Then came the commissary deposit, launch marketing, test batches, staff training, and the money required to survive before sales became predictable. You placed $20,000 in working capital aside, total cost, before the first real service day, approximately $150,000. You had $50,000 in savings, so you borrowed the remaining $100,000 at roughly 9% interest over 7 years. The monthly payment lands near $1,600. Over the full term, you may repay far more than the amount you originally borrowed. But the most important part is not the interest. It is the certainty. The lender must be paid whether you sell 400 meals or 4. Every month begins with obligations, $1,600 for the loan, perhaps $1,200 for commissary access, storage, washing facilities, and overnight parking, several hundred for commercial auto, general liability, property, and workers' compensation coverage. Then software, bookkeeping, phone service, internet, permit renewals averaged across the year, marketing, and a maintenance reserve. Before buying food or scheduling one employee, your truck may carry $4,000 to $6,000 in monthly fixed costs. That changes how you see an empty parking lot. An empty hour is not merely quiet, it is expensive. You also discover why spending every dollar on a beautiful truck is dangerous. Steel equipment looks like the business, so it feels productive. Cash sitting in an account looks inactive. But cash buys time. It covers payroll when a corporate client pays late. It replaces spoiled inventory after a refrigerator failure. It keeps the loan current during a week of storms. Undercapitalized trucks often do not fail because nobody likes the food. They fail because the owner builds a machine but leaves no oxygen for the business operating inside it. Then there are permits. Health approval may depend on where food is prepared, where wastewater is dumped, how potable water is stored, and whether the truck returns to an approved commissary. Fire officials inspect propane, ventilation, extinguishers, and suppression systems. Parking rules determine where the truck can legally operate. One city may welcome you, another may restrict operating hours, distance from restaurants, or access to public streets. Mobility sounds like freedom. In practice, every move crosses into somebody's jurisdiction. Still, you open. You stock the refrigerator, load the sauces, check the generator, and drive toward your first location. You believe the hardest decision was buying the truck. Then you park beside 6 competitors and realize something more frightening. You have built the restaurant. Now you must continually purchase access to customers. Location is not just geography. It is the price of attention. An office district can give you 200 hungry workers, but perhaps only 90 minutes to serve them. A brewery may offer a relaxed evening crowd with higher spending, but demand depends on the brewery's traffic. A university provides volume, yet students may be extremely price sensitive. A construction site can create dependable repeat business, but only until the project ends. Farmers markets offer visibility. Business parks offer routine. Weddings offer high-value contracts. Festivals promise enormous crowds. Each location sells you a different combination of traffic, spending power, competition, time, and risk. Then you see the advertisement. 15,000 expected festival visitors. Music, families, 25 food trucks. The vendor fee is $1,500, but the organizer expects huge attendance. You prepare 500 meals at an average ticket of $16, $8,000 in theoretical revenue. You buy roughly $1,500 of inventory and packaging. You schedule extra staff. You fill the propane tanks and drive 2 hours to the venue. Then the sky darkens. Rain arrives before dinner. The crowd disappears. You sell only 200 orders, generating $3,200. Food and packaging used on those orders cost approximately $1,000. The festival keeps its $1,500 fee. Labor costs around $600. Card processing takes roughly $90. Fuel and travel consume another $150. The truck looked busy for several hours. Your social media photos show a crowd. Your bank account shows almost no meaningful profit. Some prepared food cannot be saved. And that is how a successful-looking event loses money. Weather is not merely an inconvenience. It is a financial variable. A rainy weekday can reduce street traffic by 40%. Extreme heat may increase drinks, but reduce heavy food demand. Cold weather may help warm bowls, but keep pedestrians indoors. Event cancellations can erase revenue after ingredients, and labor have already been committed. Forecasting becomes your daily gamble. Buy too little, and you sell out during the most profitable hour. Buy too much, and tomorrow's refrigerator contains trapped cash. Suppose you purchase $700 of inventory. Trimming, cooking loss, spoilage, and unsold prepared food destroy $100 of it. Only $600 of usable product remains, but that product must absorb the entire $700 purchase cost. Your waste did not disappear. It quietly made every item you successfully sold more expensive. This is why a large menu becomes dangerous. Every new item requires ingredients, storage, preparation, training, and refrigerator space. A slow-selling dish may look creative, but it can force you to stock an ingredient used nowhere else. That ingredient occupies space another product could have used. It also ties up cash. Opportunity cost is not an economics class abstraction anymore. It is the container of specialty sauce blocking room for tomorrow's best-selling protein. Then you receive a catering request. 100 office employees, $18 per person. A fixed $1,800 contract. The client pays a 50% deposit before you purchase ingredients. The guest count, menu, service time, staffing requirement, and expected revenue before starting the engine. Waste falls because production is planned. Travel is scheduled. Demand does not depend on random pedestrians. Street service is speculative. Catering is scheduled production. The certainty has value even when the headline revenue looks smaller than a festival. But accepting the catering job means rejecting another opportunity. A truck can only be in one place at a time. A distant event may produce strong sales, while consuming hours that could have been used for 2 local services. Every booking replaces another possible booking. Every mile replaces selling time. And eventually, your biggest constraint is no longer demand. It is how much food your tiny kitchen can physically produce before the lunch crowd gives up and walks away. Your truck has 2 burners, 1 fryer, 1 grill, limited refrigeration, 3 people who must move around one another without colliding, and a lunch rush that does not care how small the kitchen is. At your current workflow, you can complete 40 orders per hour. With an average ticket of $16, your maximum hourly output is roughly $640. Then you reorganize the preparation line. Ingredients are placed in order of use. Sauces move into squeeze bottles. Proteins are portioned before service. 1 employee takes payment and finishes orders, while 2 remain focused on production. Your capacity rises to 50 orders per hour. At the same ticket, that is $800. 10 additional orders. $160 of extra hourly revenue. No second truck, no larger grill, no major advertising campaign. Just a better system. That is why speed can matter more than the food cost percentage of one complicated dish. A beautiful item that takes 8 minutes may earn a high margin individually while reducing the number of customers you can serve. You begin engineering the menu around contribution, speed, and shared ingredients. Your signature sandwich sells for $16. Ingredients cost $4.80. Packaging costs 70 cents. That leaves $10.50 before labor and overhead. Your fries sell for $6. Food and packaging cost $1.50, leaving $4.50. A drink sells for $3 and costs about $1, contributing $2. Individually, the sandwich has the largest dollar contribution, but fries and drinks require little production time, so you create a $22 combo. Suppose 100 customers visit, and 50 upgrade by $6. That adds $300 in daily sales. Across 20 service days, that is $6,000 in additional monthly revenue. The customer feels they received a complete meal. You increase average order value without finding one additional customer. Pricing becomes psychology. A premium item at $19 makes the $16 sandwich feel more reasonable. A clear, most popular combo reduces decision time. High margin sides appear beside the ordering button. Low profit, low popularity items disappear, even if you personally love them. Your menu is no longer a creative portfolio. It is a production system. Then card fees appear. Processors commonly charge a percentage plus a fixed amount per transaction. A modeled rate of 2.6% plus 10 cents sounds tiny. At $116 transactions, the fee is roughly $52 for the day. Across 20 service days, that is more than $1,000 a month. Tiny fees are dangerous because they look harmless, one order at a time. Labor behaves the same way. 2 employees at $18 per hour for 10 hours create $360 in direct wages. Payroll taxes, insurance, uniforms, training, breaks, and workers' compensation push the true expense higher. Cut. 1 employee and payroll falls, but production may fall faster. If your remaining team can complete only 30 orders per hour instead of 50, the money saved on wages may be overwhelmed by lost revenue and frustrated customers. Then someone calls in sick. The line slows. Tickets pile up. A customer waits 15 minutes, checks the time, and leaves. You did not merely lose 1 order. You may have lost someone who would have returned every Friday. Labor is both a cost and a capacity investment. You begin tracking sales per labor hour instead of wages alone. You standardize portions because an extra ounce of protein repeated 100 times can erase the profit from several meals. You train employees to follow the same sequence because consistency protects speed, food cost, and customer trust simultaneously. For the first time, the truck begins to feel controlled. Sales are rising. Waste is falling. Your best Saturday produces the highest revenue you have ever recorded. You close the window, count the day, and start driving home. Then the engine temperature warning appears. A few seconds later, the truck stops. And when the engine stops, the restaurant closes. The tow costs $400. The first repair estimate is $6,000, but the repair bill is only the visible damage. Tomorrow's $3,000 catering event is now at risk. Prepared inventory may spoil if the refrigeration system loses power. Employees were scheduled. The client expects you at noon. A backup truck is unavailable, and a temporary setup may violate local service requirements. The breakdown does not merely damage a vehicle, it cancels a restaurant. That is the unique vulnerability of this business. The kitchen and transportation system are the same asset. A conventional restaurant can remain open when the owner's car fails. You cannot. This is why you began reserving 3% of monthly revenue for maintenance. At $40,000 in sales, that means $1,200 enters a repair account. In a quiet month, the reserve feels excessive. On the side of the highway, it feels small. Fuel has also been hiding inside your margins. You pay for gasoline or diesel to move the truck. Generator fuel powers refrigeration, ventilation, lights, point-of-sale equipment, and kitchen appliances. Propane runs cooking equipment. Travel to the commissary happens before service, and again afterward. A distant event may show $5,000 in revenue, while consuming additional fuel, travel wages, preparation time, and an entire day that could have supported local service. Then you open your annual dashboard. Revenue reaches $500,000. It looks extraordinary. But food and packaging consume 31%, or $155,000. Labor consumes 30%, or $150,000. Card fees take $15,000. Commissary, storage, and parking costs $24,000. Fuel and propane consume $18,000. Insurance, permits, software, accounting, marketing, repairs, maintenance, and miscellaneous expenses total roughly $60,000. Loan payments remove another $19,000. What remains is approximately $59,000 before owner-level income taxes. And part of that result may include compensation for the thousands of hours you personally worked. If you divide the remaining money between business profit and the salary you should have earned as operator, the company may be less profitable than it first appeared. Now change 3 assumptions. Food cost rises from 31 to 34%. Labor rises from 30 to 33. Unexpected repairs add $15,000. Those changes erase $45,000. A healthy-looking $59,000 result collapses toward $14,000. The truck does not need to become empty to fail. Only a few percentages need to move in the wrong direction. Then taxes introduce another illusion. Sales tax collected from customers enters your bank account, but it is not your money. Payroll taxes must be remitted. Income tax reserves must remain untouched. Loan payments reduce cash, but only the interest portion is generally treated like an ordinary deductible financing expense. Principal repayment behaves differently. Equipment may be depreciated over time, creating yet another gap between accounting profit and cash in the bank. Your dashboard may show a profitable month while payroll is due before catering invoices are collected. Revenue is not profit. Profit is not cash. Cash in the account is not necessarily spendable. Weak bookkeeping makes these differences invisible until payment deadlines arrive. You now understand why growth can be dangerous. More sales require more inventory and labor before all customer payments settle. A festival deposit may be due months before the event. A catering client may pay after service. Growth can create a cash shortage, while the income statement celebrates. And yet, after repairs, rain, waste, taxes, and hundreds of exhausting service hours, the truck survives its first year. Customers know your name. Corporate bookings are increasing. Your weekend locations regularly sell out. Then someone asks the question every ambitious owner eventually hears. Why not buy a second truck? Revenue could double, but obligations would double first. The second truck costs approximately $150,000. You contribute $30,000 in equity and finance. the remaining $120,000. Depending on the rate and term, the new payment approaches $2,000 per month. Before selling one meal, you also duplicate permits, insurance, inspections, technology, repairs, and staffing. The second truck needs a manager because you cannot stand inside both kitchens. It needs trained employees who portion food the same way, speak to customers consistently, and protect the brand when you are somewhere else. Revenue may double eventually. Obligations double immediately. There are advantages. Centralized preparation can reduce duplication. Larger ingredient orders may improve purchasing power. One commissary can prepare sauces, proteins, and packaging for several units. But centralization introduces new dependencies. If the prep kitchen fails, both trucks suffer. If quality varies, customers stop trusting the brand. If the second truck requires you to solve every problem personally, you have not created a scalable company. You have created two demanding jobs. So you test expansion with pop-ups, temporary rentals, and catering setups before signing another large loan. Then franchising enters the conversation. A franchise could use another person's capital. They pay an initial fee, invest in the truck, and return a percentage of sales as royalties. But one profitable truck is not automatically a franchise. Recipes must be documented precisely. Supplier standards must be clear. Training must be repeatable. Truck specifications, food safety procedures, branding, scheduling, and quality control systems must survive without your constant presence. The business becomes scalable when a stranger can reproduce the result without the founder standing beside them. That is the real dividing line between owning a truck and owning a system. 1 year after opening, you can finally compare 3 possible outcomes. In an optimistic year, strong catering demand, disciplined food costs, efficient labor, and few repairs might allow you to pay yourself a reasonable working salary while leaving meaningful profit in the company. In a realistic year, you may earn an acceptable income, but much of it compensates you for long days spent cooking, driving, purchasing, scheduling, cleaning, posting online, and repairing problems. In a difficult year, weather, inflation, labor shortages, weak locations, and breakdowns can reduce your take-home pay below what you could have earned managing somebody else's restaurant. That does not make the business worthless, but it changes what success means. A truck that produces income only while you personally work every service is a job you own. A truck that produces consistent results through trained people and documented systems may become an asset. Many failures begin when owners confuse those 2 stages. They scale before controlling waste. They add menu items before fixing speed. They take debt before building reserves. They attend expensive events without calculating realistic break-even volume. They spend everything on equipment, ignore maintenance, underprice the menu, misunderstand taxes, and mistake sales for profit. Your first year has taught you to see what customers cannot. Before sunrise, you return to the commissary. The city is still dark. You check the oil. You inspect the propane connection. You load carefully portioned ingredients into the refrigerator. The grill begins heating. The generator starts. Your first customer approaches the window. To them, it is just lunch, a sandwich, some fries, a drink. But to you, it is financing, permits, fuel, labor, timing, waste, weather, debt, risk. It is the festival you rejected because the fee made no sense. The catering deposit that protected your cash. The menu item you removed to serve 10 more customers an hour. The repair reserve that kept the business alive. The employee you trained to produce the same meal when you are not there. Thousands of invisible decisions compressed into one paper container. The customer believes they are paying for food, but what they are really buying is every system, sacrifice, calculation, and risk that allows this tiny restaurant on wheels to open its window and survive one more day.